Today is May 6th. My name is Willie.
My name is Brian.
And we are Shooting the Shift. And sorry we were gone for a little bit. We had things going on. It was a little difficult life happened.
Tend to life.
Last 2 weekends. So we're back and we miss you guys.
A lot of stuff went down.
And we have some pretty exciting topics. We're excited to get into it. So let's get right into it. And we can start with, it looks like F1 is coming to Miami.
Because we don't have enough things here.
Shut up. I don't know if any of you remember, or it depends, I guess, on the age really. But I remember being a young child and watching IndyCar in downtown Miami back in the day. This was early 90s, I believe. And that was amazing. I mean, just hearing the cars go by, you get a lot of the engine noise. Everything is so much louder because of the buildings. All the noise is bouncing off everywhere. So it's the noises are spectacular. Obviously, there's a lot more buildings in downtown now, so it's gonna look super nice. We were able to go to the Formula E when they ran Formula E in downtown Miami, which was super cool to see it. Unfortunately, Formula E cars are not. They barely make any noise at all. All you hear is just tire screeching for the most part, and something that sounds like the electric cars at Publix that people use. Similar noises to that
with the horns.
Yeah. I think it might have the same horn actually. So yeah, man, it's the proposal has been set up already by Liberty Media to be proposed actually this week. They will take a vote to see if they're gonna agree. I would imagine that they are gonna agree. It makes complete sense for Miami to say yes to this. It's gonna bring a lot of money. A lot of people are gonna come to see it. Tourism. People are going to come to spend money due to the event, and it's a week-long event, as we've discussed in the past. So it just brings a lot of money to the city, and there's already a proposed track layout, which you guys can check out online, and we'll put the links for the YouTube viewers. We'll put the links in there so they can just check it out. It looks pretty epic. Looks like it's going to go around the AAA. The American Airlines Arena where the Heat play. It's going to loop. It's going to go down Biscayne. It's going to loop around the AAA. It's going to give a nice, cool view of the water. Then it's going to actually go over the Port of Miami bridge, and I believe into the tunnel. And then it's going to come out of the tunnel and then loop around and then come back around the same bridge or the port bridge. Down into Biscayne again. It looks pretty cool. I think this is pretty much. I gotta confirm that, but I think this is pretty much very similar to the track layout of the Formula E that we saw.
Yeah.
I don't know if they went. I don't think they went over the bridge though. So, yeah.
I personally think there's better ideas because I don't know if you've seen. Obviously, Biscayne is going to be one of the areas where it would have to be, correct? I think we can somehow incorporate either both the bridges and kind of use the full, the tunnel or the tunnel crossing that little body of ocean there. And then in the middle, we can have you can take your boat, and be in the middle of the ocean and be basically surrounded by the actual action because it'll be a circle. To me, I don't think there's the bridge part. Yeah, it's probably the most exciting part. Looking at the layout now, there's not a lot of I'm not gonna say exciting turns and stuff like that, but around the arena is not. I don't see a lot of taking over opportunities or things like that. So it's gonna be very limited for racers to have the width on those roads in order to pass each other as violently as they do and stuff like that. So
yeah, but I mean, street circuits they're not really big passing tracks. I mean, this is just like a they're trying to make, I guess, this is supposed to replace Baku.
Right.
So they were taking out a street circuit to bring in another street circuit.
Right.
So it's going to be, again, this is just a proposed track layout. It may change,
Correct,
but
yeah.
I think you have to use the Port of Miami tunnel. Like that's like, there's no choice. You got to use that.
Correct. That's what I'm saying, because there's on the actual layout, they're giving you just the Port of Miami extension part. They're not counting the part on the other side, which is I think the Don Shula Expressway, where there's the entrance to go in that tunnel that leads you to the port. If you can use the entirety of that entrance, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And like I said, since it would be around and it would eventually connect with Biscayne. If you have a boat or whatnot, I'm sure you'll pay admission fee or whatnot, and you guys could actually be in the middle, where Bayfront Park is and all that stuff, and you'd be able to see by the bridges the cars pass by and the whole nine.
Yeah, so, maybe. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think that would be very Miami. That's for sure.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm excited. So more to come on that this week. They'll have the vote. I'm sure they'll say yes, and then they're talking October 2019. So next year, I mean, we'll more than likely we'll have a Miami Grand Prix, which first ever. Actually, they've never done Formula One in Miami.
But we've seen something similar to it. But
well, Indy, but they've never done like the glitz and glamour of Formula One like in Miami. It's like it's a perfect pairing, to be honest.
I think we got to move on to something very, I guess, eye-catching.
Onto another bridge.
Yes,
conversation.
It's a segue to the bridge.
Yes.
All right. In Hong Kong, they're building a bridge that's going to connect, I believe, was it China?
To Hong Kong?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So China, Hong Kong. This bridge, at first, when we were looking over things, Sir William here to my right was like, yeah, whatever bridge. Nah. And then I told him the length of it and what it consists of, and he said, yes.
No, the bridge part wasn't the exciting part. The part that was exciting was the how many miles of tunnel are they going to have?
4.1 miles of tunnels.
Yes, that's like being trapped in an amazing dream forever. That's like just dreaming of driving through a tunnel, and then you just never see the end of it. You just get to hear your car just rev amazingly inside the tunnel.
For sure.
So are they going to have a gas station in there in the middle of the tunnel to refuel?
So, for those of you who are wondering, I don't know if the total is going to be. It's like 14.3 miles.
And it's 34 miles long, the entire bridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 34.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So 14.3.
He got stuck first.
Miles. My clutch is burnt.
Needs a new clutch.
It's the day after. Come on, really? Come on. We're all screwed.
It is 6th de Mayo.
We're all screwed. Sick de Mayo is what it is. So 14.3 miles of bridge, 4.1 of tunnel, 3 lanes wide. I mean, I don't have to explain to you how exciting that sounds. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, 1, maybe 2 in the morning, something like that, when there's not a lot of cars around, you and your friends. No. It's a drifter's fantasy. It is a gearhead fantasy.
Are they building apartments on that bridge to where I can just like right next to the tunnel? I have my apartment in my car, and then I'm just driving up and down the tunnel all day and then going home.
Exactly. They should though. Like on the side, just hanging off.
Dude, it's like, I'm trying to set myself up for retirement here, all right?
on a bridge. Look, you could have an apartment on a bridge in Hong Kong, and I'll work at the Miami track here. Yeah, just sweeping rubber.
What's Willie up to, man? Well, he retired. He bought an apartment on a bridge. It's right next to 4 miles worth of tunnel, and he has a GT3, and he just drives up and down all day.
That's it
with the track exhaust. Terrorizing the Hong Kong and Chinese population.
He's known over there as the American.
Yeah, the American. Oh man. So yeah, that's pretty. That's yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That might be worth. I've never wanted to go to China. Now I do.
Can they make one that like? Can they make like an extension or like maybe like an off ramp that just continues to Miami?
Yeah,
like
and I'm sure they have rental like whatever that you know how China's notorious for like like, obviously they don't care. They operate under their own laws, so they just copy cars and rebrand them and call them something else. I'm sure they have a GT3, whatever, like whatever Chinese brand, like it's called the GT, like I.
No, yeah, exactly. GT Roman numeral 3.
Yeah,
Like, oh no, it's not the same.
It's not.
It's got a Toyota engine.
Yeah. So moving on, our next topic is it's a bit of a this is a bit of a nerdy one for me. It's super dope technology in my opinion. Audi is going to be the first company to use or is the first company to put into production electric compressors. It's basically like an additional. It's electric supercharger is technically what it is. And it basically, it's electrical, of course, and it uses electricity from the car to spool up and bring in additional air to get rid of all the lag from the turbo. Currently, they have it in their SQ7 TDI, which is a V8 turbocharged that produces. It's a twin turbocharged V8 that produces 435 horsepower and a massive 660 foot-pounds of torque. Which is crazy.
May I say?
Yes.
Oof.
Yes. Yes. And of course, we'll never get to experience that, like an amazing diesel V8 like that because of idiots.
What was the last one? What was the last one? Was it like a V12 diesel?
Yeah, they used to have a V12. Yeah, they did. They had a V12 TDI at one point. That again never made it over here either.
Because why?
But this technology is super cool because, I mean, even though turbos have come a very, very long way and a lot of manufacturers have their own way of reducing lag, it's still a little, you can still kind of feel it in certain cars. Not as much as, of course, like like my car, like an 08 GT2, where you can really feel the turbo lag and you can feel it come on as well. Turbos now, for the most part, on the newer generation cars are very, for the most part, as linear as can be. And you see boost coming on those cars now at lower RPMs, which before it used to be at higher ones. But this kind of technology will get rid of any lag, period, making the turbos even more attractive. I mean, essentially kind of turning it into as like making the power curve as linear almost as a naturally aspirated car.
So for those of you who don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yes.
All right. So in any of the cars, most modern cars have a turbo because of, economy and better gas mileage or whatnot. Now, if you are a gearhead and you've modified your car or whatnot, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, but for the people that don't, here it goes. If you have a turbo in your car and you plant your foot down all of a sudden from a light, it won't. The lag basically, the turbo doesn't initially kick in. So on its own, it needs to spool up and kind of like, get the, like when you go to work in the morning and warm up the car and then like that, that's exactly how it works. And then once it's ready, it delivers basically a horse kick to your, your spine and launches the car forward.
Well, a turbo works off of exhaust gas, right?
Right.
So a turbo is set up at the end of the engine, basically, where it's using that exhaust gas that's coming out to spool up a fan or a compressor inside of a turbine, essentially. And then it takes some time for that to begin to spool up. It will compress, and then it will actually demand more air or more exhaust from the engine, right? Which the engine, it's basically pulling in more air into the engine, but it depends on the type of turbo, type of car, everything on how fast you will get peak power out of that turbocharger. So that is the lag that we're talking about, is the amount of time it takes for that turbo to actually spool up to where it's producing the peak performance. A lot of the turbos now, Porsche has the variable vane system, which basically makes a small, the compressor blades will actually shift and move depending on your actual throttle response to either demand more air or less air. So it kind of operates as a big or small turbo in one. Then you have technology like this one where this in particular is to get rid of that initial lag. So it's actually gonna bring in that air using the electric supercharger in front of the turbo to give it that extra air and not have to wait for the engine to produce that actual air. So it's pretty cool. It's technology that again, it's just gonna make turbochargers more attractive. It's not gonna help with the noise factor, which has always been my problem with turbocharged cars. The noise is just not always there. But yeah, man, super cool. Excited to see all these different technologies that are coming out. And it's only gonna get better and better.
I think we're on a perfect we're gonna get a perfect score for segways.
I don't even. Are those the security guards ride in the mall
in De La Mall?
No.
No.
Right.
So speaking of parts, all right.
Yes.
Have you ever ordered something on Amazon?
Bro.
Like, let's say, I don't know.
This never happens to me, by the way.
A tube of lipstick, right? Let's say
Never happens.
you paid your $30 for, tube of lipstick, and in return, you got a Formula One clutch.
Yeah, no. That's never happened to me. I order lipstick all the time, and that never happens to me.
So the people at Amazon, I'm not sure if they are kind of at fault, but they accidentally shipped a Formula One race clutch to a BMW M3 consumer. And this never happens to either of us at all.
No. In fact, my confusion is how the hell, where is Amazon shipping these things to? Because I immediately went on Amazon to see if they had any available. And you can't find it. So one, it's not even available to order on Amazon. And then two, why, are they using Amazon to sell? Do they have some kind of Formula One clutch department or something, or Formula One part department that's is there another Amazon website, like Amazon F1 or something?
It's not the same Amazon. Jeff?
Jeff?
Yeah. Is this you?
Dude,
Three. Okay, one of my biggest
so many questions right
Was
now.
it standard shipping, or did the customer have Prime?
No, they had Prime.
They had Prime?
No, they had Prime.
They had Prime?
They had Prime.
I'm wondering.
For sure.
Jeff, please call us.
So yeah, this guy ordered a clutch for his M3
and got one.
And a clutch showed up. That's A.
It was for an F1 though, not an M3.
They got that part right. It's not.
Oh boy.
So, which was pretty funny because in the article they're like, then the only possible solution to this problem is to sell your M3 and buy a Formula One car,
which is possible. I think. I
completely agree with that.
Wait, hold on. So. What if the owner of the M3 just keeps ordering a windshield wiper and then just gets the front wing and then I need the little valve cap covers and then he starts getting the steering wheel.
I think that he needs to try and make this work on the M3. He needs to try to make that clutch work on the M3. I don't care.
We also were amazed at the size of it. It is the length, I want to say, of 3/4 of a Sharpie around there.
Yeah, it's about 3/4. The total diameter is 3/4 of a Sharpie pen, of a normal Sharpie pen, which is
it's literally
tiny,
this wide.
Yeah, no, it's totally.
It's this is the size of the clutch, and from what it looks like, maybe probably that high as well. So
yeah, no, it's not, and it's 4 clutches actually in one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's a bargain.
That's insane that the clutch is that small. It's crazy.
Think about it. All right, he was supposed to spend about $400 or $500. Got something that's estimated around $7,000, I think.
Dude, he can.
And there's 4 of them in there.
He can sell that back to a race team. He just needs to email
all the race teams.
Hey, I got a non-used Formula One clutch. If you guys are interested.
You guys in search for a clutch for Sunday? No.
Dude, insane. That never happens to me, by the way.
We could try, though. You could start ordering, what if you bought a M3 t-shirt? What do you get for that?
Yeah, I don't know.
The helmet?
I don't know.
What if it just keeps going? I would. You know what? Listen, gentleman or woman who decided to order this, please just continue ordering parts from the same way you did it. All right, naturally, just keep ordering parts, and then just keep us updated. If you get maybe your steering wheel, or one of those like $10,000 helmets, or a race suit, something. Maybe they might ship you the actual pilot for that team in a crate.
Oh man,
That's,
So moving on to our head-to-head.
Cabeza y cabeza.
We have a V8 SUV head-to-head, a super SUV, super fast when you really have to get to that crate and barrel as fast as possible, and you just
keep saying super because you're on the roll right now.
Super
fast,
super fast,
V8,
super sport utility vehicle,
4-door, super SUV, super.
That's right. The Porsche Cayenne Turbo S versus the Lamborghini Urus.
Anus. If you want to know the specifications of the Porsche Cayenne Turbo S, okay, we have it V8. Is it not?
No, you did the wrong. It would be the Porsche Cayenne Turbo S is a 4.8 liter twin turbo V8.
Und fast. Und efficient.
Und efficient.
Und efficient. All right, now seriousness. 507 horsepower.
No, this thing's a beast.
4.8 liter V8. All right. It's also, I want to say, a bit heavy as well compared to its rival.
Yes.
But we are talking about Whole Foods mobiles.
And since we're on the subject, just to get it out there real quick, guys, me and Porsche are on good terms again. Okay. We have they came through on my situation.
Oh dear.
With the GT3. I cannot disclose the details of what took place, but I will tell you that they did take care of me, and which I was hoping they would, and they did.
These are amazing pictures.
So Porsche,
look at this.
Love you, and so you can continue now. I just wanted to give everybody an update as to
look at these pictures.
What happened.
Look at this.
So yes.
Throw the man some free shit and look at him. He's in love again.
I said I couldn't disclose what happened. We don't know what happened.
Gave you pencils.
You're speculating.
I'm not speculating.
You're speculating.
A mug,
you're speculating.
T-shirt.
You have no idea what happened.
Anyway.
Yes.
Some things you might not know. Like me spilling my brother's water on him.
Thanks for spilling the water.
All-wheel drive. Over 7,000 pounds. So we go back to the weight. All right.
These are SUVs, by the way.
No, I'm just saying.
Sure
I'm just saying.
These are heavy vehicles.
Towing capacity of 7,000 pounds, just in case you do want to tow your boat.
Yes.
A small one.
I mean, hey man, 7,000 pounds. That's.
Now, what exactly are we got here on your side?
On the Lamborghini Urus. That has got to be one of the worst names. Like, the Urus. Like it's like
damn.
It's kind of like anus, but urine. It's like a urine with anus.
You know what it is. You know what it is? It's a UTI, is what it is. That's what's.
Yeah.
So after you've brought your lovely girl,
just come check out my Lamborghini Urus.
After you brought the lovely girl over, and you both done the deed, eventually, or quite possibly, she will have a Urus.
Yes. she's caught. Oh mate, I was hanging out with this bird last night, and I caught a Lamborghini Urus.
Oh, I think I got the Urus, mate.
I caught right in the penis, mate.
Lord. I'm going twice a week now to the clinic. This Urus thing is a problem.
This Urus thing is getting out of control.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the worst names.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
There's so many things.
It's weird because Lamborghini usually does really well when it comes to car names. Actually,
I know.
It's like they do have
it's usually bulls and stuff, but still. But I mean,
well, I don't know if the Urus is a bull. I don't know if they followed that same. Is this the bulls like the bulls Urus? No, it's the bulls Urus.
That could be it.
That's right.
That could be it.
That's right. Maybe that's why they're the color that they unveiled it in is like a yellow, like the first and second, or it's like a golden. Bro, no lie. The color they unveiled the car in
yellow.
is a golden yellow, actually, which is like
It's the golden shower is what it
urine
is.
yellow. Holy shit!
The Lamborghini golden shower.
Son of a bitch.
It's
Damn.
subliminal. Dang.
Oh man, what a bad one. Well, okay, so real quick before we get into the Urus, the styling on the Turbo S, I mean it hasn't really changed too much on the Cayenne.
Yeah, it's
super dope. I like it. The interior, it's typical Porsche interior look. Looks very nice, very clean. They got the updated interior with the big screen. A lot of like black flat. There's no more. I don't know if you remember in the older Cayennes and the old Panameras, they used to have. I mean, the console used to look like a 747 cockpit with all the. It had like 80 buttons.
Yeah.
And then like half of them that didn't do anything. It was just like
for you to click.
was
the original fidget spinner.
That's the dumbest. Like that is some of the
things.
dumbest shit, and like some of the things that I'm like, why do you do like? There's nothing that drives me more crazy than like you have a row for buttons, and then 4 of them are nothing, and then you just have the one. So I would always like when I spec'd out a car, at least with Porsche, I would always try and put as many options as possible that would fill in those buttons. That way, like I didn't have that. Like my OCD one kick in with like all the missing where buttons could go, but there weren't.
Yeah,
because
so
you didn't get the option or whatever.
Yeah.
But even with that, when I would fully spec out a car with like every button you could add,
Right.
there were still buttons that were missing. There were still holes, like which is retarded. So they've done away with that now because it's now like a flat screen or a flat piece of plastic or kind of like glass, I guess.
It's very German.
It's all touch screen now, super clean. So they got rid of that crap. So
Very German.
Interior, exterior looks super nice.
German.
Very very nice. Then we move on to the Urus, which is like
Violence.
just like yeah. I mean, it looks pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It looks really good. It looks like a fat Aventador, basically. Like if an Aventador like just ended up in Krispy Kreme at 2 a.m. and just like had 100 donuts.
Oof.
That's what the Urus looks like now.
Wow. I mean, listen. Interior wise,
Yeah.
it kicks the Porsche's ass. It kicks
It kicks everything.
The interior of this car kicks a lot of asses as far as the interiors of other cars. So it's amazing.
I'm still baffled about the fact that they unveiled this in golden piss yellow, and it's called the Lamborghini close to urine. Actually, that's fucking amazing.
You know what I find interesting on it? I think they're using the same like padded seat technology as they did on the what's the car that they did that on? One of their like insane $1 million hypercars. Because if you see on the interior options, when you see the white, it looks like different sections of padding. So it's just essentially what they did on was it the Veneno, or what's the red one called?
I don't know. Oh, not the Veneno. The which one are you thinking?
The one Hammond drove. The one that has like the carbon like red flakes. That's not really paint.
The Sesto Elemento,
So what they did on that car,
which is like one of my favorite cars of all time.
what
by
they
the way.
did was that on the same frame of the actual car, they just put
This is not that though. It looks like
right,
it, though. Yeah.
but no, but that's what I'm saying. It looks like it because there's missing portions in the middle.
Yeah,
as well.
on that car to save space, they just stuck on padding onto the actual
So there's no
chassis.
Yeah.
There was no seat.
Yeah.
So you would actually adjust the pedals and the steering wheel to you. You wouldn't actually move the seat
Right.
at all because there wasn't one. It was
Yeah.
just padding. So
But they presented it in some of their initial photos in like a lovely brown, which is amazing.
yeah, no. The interior is it's Lamborghini. It's gonna be nice. It looks very similar to what you're seeing now on the Huracans with the on some of the initial photos of the Urus. You'll see a lot of the forged carbon that Lamborghini is. I know it's hard to say that without saying it. It's ridiculous. Like
That's because we're
like
five.
no, because what other words start with you are like? I mean, there's no other word other than urine that you say that starts with a UR. So it's like in your mind, you're programmed that when you start to say you're like you finish with in, not us. So it's ridiculous.
Let's get into the.
They definitely didn't think of the American market when it came to naming this car. They were like, oh, and then the Americans are like,
we're going to call it the Urus.
the Urus.
It's not problem.
Yeah,
That's not no
I
problem
would
there.
imagine that nobody in Italy says urine. So, so like
They say piss.
I'm sure they have another word for it, obviously, but for us, it's like it's too close, man. It's too close.
What's the Lambo rocking under the old hood there?
Well, the Lamborghini's got a 4-liter V8, sending 650 horsepower and 627 foot-pounds of torque to all four wheels, doing 0 to 60 in 3.6, and it tops out at about 190.
So
Very similar numbers, though. I'm surprised that this car has so much more horsepower than the Cayenne Turbo S, yet it's only getting 0.30 to 60 faster.
Wait, who makes this car?
This is VW.
The Lamborghini.
Volkswagen. Yeah, they own everything. It's essentially a Q7.
Right, and then they're styled by Italians.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. What do they do best? Both of them.
I mean, it should be fast though.
I know, but what do they do best?
I don't know. You tell me.
They lie.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see an actual head-to-head with these two cars. I haven't seen any yet.
It's got 10,000 horsepower, but it can only go 60 miles an hour.
I guess. I guess, man. I don't know. Yeah, and Porsche's, Germans are very conservative with numbers, so in reality, that 3.6 at 3.9, 0 to 60 may actually be a 3.6. Yeah. So their numbers are typically like super conservative. They usually go faster when they start reviewing the cars.
So needless to say, you're with me on this one. We're both on the Urus. The urine, the anus.
I love. I think the styling on the Cayenne is a little boring, to be honest. I love the styling on the Urus. I think it's super aggressive, super cool looking.
Would you ever imagine yourself making love to the Urus?
No,
never
at
at all.
No, never.
No,
why do you ask?
Because I think it's in our next segment that there's a certain type of behavior in that sense.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, for me, it's actually the urine. So I'm taking the urine on this one, and I would just ask, maybe if you order one, you can actually have them change the badging in the back to not say Urus for the U.S. market.
Oh, I guess, yeah. I mean,
so
because we're all 5 years old.
Yes,
and I'm good with that.
Yeah, just call your Uranus or something. Lamborghini Uranus.
I think it's time that, ladies and gentlemen, that we reveal to them our but why, and it's not unheard of, unfortunately, because I mean there's like TV shows where they have strange addictions and stuff like that, and you've seen it, or probably heard of it in the past, but since we are the mental age of 5 years old on this show,
listen,
it's hilarious.
We've all, and I don't want any judgment. All right, we've all thought about doing this at one point or another.
Women won't understand
with a car, and because of the way society's set up, we just decided not to. A man in Kansas was arrested for trying to have sex with a car. Police found him naked underneath the car, attempting to stick his penis inside the tailpipe. Question is, was the car on or was it off?
I have more questions.
Hey, that's my only question.
Positions. What was the man trying to accomplish? Was it missionary?
He was underneath the car.
So
I guess he's rocking some kind of curve or something. Because how do you
cow car?
Yeah,
not cowgirl.
Now
cow.
Was this a straight piped car? Was it a GT3? I have a lot of questions. I don't know. What's going on here?
I want to say if you wanted like I guess an accurate feeling, he'd have to like turn it on for a little bit so it's not too hot.
Yeah.
And then just trying to get that warmth.
Yeah, he was.
Or
the guy was 24. Oh. He was or he still is 24. He was not responding to the officer's commands to quit trying to copulate with the car. I wonder if the cop actually used that. That's why he wasn't stopping. Because he's like, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna keep going. You stop copulating, sir. And he's like, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna keep. Does that mean to do it?
Well, it is Kansas.
So
right?
apparently he was high on something, which I would imagine.
No. Listen. We
Officers were there, and he continued to try and have sex with the tailpipe of the car. He would not listen to the commands. What car was this?
I don't think they disclosed it. Hold on.
Was it like was it an F40 or something? Like if it's an F40, like
it was a Volkswagen.
Wait, was it a TDI?
No.
Yes.
This gives a whole new definition to the defeat device. Was that it? Is that what they've been doing over there in Germany? Because in that case, Jesus.
Was this in Germany?
No.
This is
Kansas.
No, it's Kansas.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, the defeat device was
what is
their
happening
issue.
in Kansas?
Don't
they have really good barbecue over there?
Apparently, is like
somebody has some bomb barbecue, bro, and just like was like, fuck it, I'm fucking a car today.
People in Kansas, do you guys not have Wi-Fi or Netflix or strong pornography?
Bruh.
I don't, that's, oof.
I mean, I love my car. But, I don't know.
It
does have, my car is sporting an Akrapovic titanium exhaust, so.
To me, when I see, like, for example, like the RSR, I'm like, that ass. But I don't literally mean, that ass. Like, it's not.
Or do you?
Nah.
Or do you?
Nah.
How about like okay, so let's talk about like the most fuckable exhaust of all time, right?
Got it.
Like Pagani probably would be one, no?
There's too many.
And that one you don't even have to lay down, you can stand up and do it.
I think it wouldn't be an exhaust, but was it in the 80s where most of like the gas tanks were in the middle of the trunk lid, so you had to move like the badge and just stuff in?
No, but that wasn't an exhaust though. That's
no. But I'm saying as appropriate, yeah, like an exhaust. But that's you don't have to do anything. You just
Pagani's one. GT3 would probably be another one.
Aventador, you would need one like a rectangle.
Yeah, these would all be at. These would all. That's right.
Like this.
Yeah,
you would need to just.
Yeah,
that's
an interesting one would be the 918 Spider.
That
one's on the top.
You would need one like a cylinder, a perfect cylinder.
Yeah.
That's
these
slanted. This is interesting. On next week's episode, we're gonna examine. I don't know.
On next week's episode, Brian and Willie were arrested for copulating with vehicles.
Two podcasters were arrested outside of the collection in Bird Road.
They were
apparently test driving the cars.
They were mid-copulating. They were in mid-copulation. I'm going to start using that word a lot.
For copulation.
I'm telling my wife later, girl, we about to copulate.
Wait, has that always been? Is that like the copafeel? Like,
I don't know.
Copulation
bro.
feel? Maybe?
I don't know.
No?
I'm looking that up.
Am I far left right now? Was that no?
I don't know.
Over?
I only graduated high school, bro. I don't have that kind of vocabulary.
Oh, I couldn't even make it, bro. I was working. It's just middle school. I fucking threw in the towel, bro. I was like, I'm done with this.
Oh, man. So that pretty much wraps up the show today.
Wait, there's no more fuckable exhaust?
No.
This is going to keep going.
No. Yeah.
Can we make that a segment in the show? Like most attractive rear ends.
Yeah, we can. We'll do a live one day. And then we'll stick that in there somehow. So thanks for joining us today, guys. Definitely check us out on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to YouTube. Like and comment as well. And again, shoot us some, if you guys got stuff you want us to talk about, or if you have questions about certain things about the actual podcast itself, leave us some comments, and we'll be certain to get back to you guys. And yeah.
And if you could think of better choices for sexiest rear end, you let us know. And pictures. Send us some pictures of the exhaust, type exhaust.
Do not send us pictures of you guys copulating with cars.
No, not that. Just the rear before you start. Just iPhone or whatever you have, and then bloop, and then send it over. Or if you know a friend that has like a 240 SX or a Skyline, and you're like, wow, what about this? And we're like,
And if you're the guy from Kansas, and after you get out of jail, you want to chime in and explain to us as to what.
Give us a call, man.
What was going on?
Yeah.
What led you to that point in your life?
We're not judging.
Where you,
all right?
Yeah, where you just ended up having sex with a car.
I often dream of like the F12 when it's like high revving.
Yes.
God damn.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in.
See you next week.
Laters.